Hi everyone, it's Lynnea for LDRS Creative, and I'm going to show you how to take your stamps and coordinating dies and put a little bit of a different twist onto them. It's no secret that I am not a huge fan of coloring. It's something that I am okay at, but I'm not an expert at coloring by any means. So I would like to take my stamps and dies and kind of find little cheater methods and ways to use them that don't require a lot of coloring effort. And today, instead of using the stamps and dies together like you normally would, I'm going to be using just the coordinating dies from the Baby Dino and from the Hawaiian Vacation stamp and die sets. So you see here that I have a piece of black cardstock, and I'm just going to grab a few of the coordinating dies that I want to use to create my scene. Instead of stamping them onto white cardstock, coloring them, and then cutting them out, I am just simply cutting these dies from black cardstock. And rather than giving me all the details of the stamped and die cut images, these are going to give me silhouette images. So take a peek at what other stamped and coordinating die sets you may have in your stash that you can do a similar technique. I'm going to just start building my scene that I wanted to have. I grabbed the palm tree from the Hawaiian Vacation die set. There is a tree in the Baby Dino, but I quite like this tree, so I decided to kind of mix and match to build my scene. I'm working on a Nina cardstock base, and I'm just going to do a bit of ink blending. I wanted to keep the background simple, because I have that simplicity of the silhouetted images for my foreground pieces. So I'm going to do a bit of masking and ink blending and just create a nice little either sunrise or sunset scene, whichever one you want it to be. It's just going to help bring these silhouette images to life. So I've taken a piece of masking tape and I'm just going to place it so that I have maybe about a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch of white space at the bottom of my card, and this is where I'm going to blend my ground. So I'm using an LDRS Creative blender brush, and I have Raven Hybrid ink. Now this is a super black ink, but I am going to pick up some of that color with my blender brush and then just kind of tap it on my glass work surface. And that's going to tap off some of that ink color so I can come in light and build that up. But by tapping it on my glass work surface, I can make sure that I'm not wasting that ink and I can go back and use it again. Another option is to tap off onto a piece of white cardstock, but then you can't use that ink. So I much prefer to tap off onto my glass work surface so that I can pick up that ink later and use that. Now I've moved my masking tape down to cover up my ground, and I'm going to start blending the sky that's going to be the background of my scene. I am using Kiss Me Red, Fandango, In Your Face Orange, and Banana Cream Pie hybrid inks to build up that background. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm starting with my darkest ink down at the bottom, tapping off, blending onto my card base, and then I'm just switching out to the next color until I have that full background done. Now don't worry if this kind of looks a bit harsh. As I got to the orange, you can see here, I kind of started not taking as much care to get an even blend, but I think that's okay because in the end it's a handmade card and any mistake is going to look okay. And this kind of makes it look like that fiery sky that happens at nighttime that's so pretty, so I quite liked this effect. I grabbed my stamping tool as well as the natural granite 6x6 background stamp, and I wanted to add a little bit of texture to my ground to make it look like a pebbled ground. So I'm going to line this up on my card. I have adhered my card in my stamping platform with just a little bit of tape that I'll remove with an adhesive eraser later. I'm going to take a piece of masking tape and just mask off the ground. Then I'll use my Raven Hybrid ink up the bottom of that natural granite stamp, and use my Stampendable stamping tool to really make sure that I have a nice and even impression. Then I'm going to peel back that masking tape. You see here how I'm going slowly and peeling it back onto itself to make sure that I don't tear my beautifully blended background. And here is my card. I worked right on my card base, but you can work on a separate panel if you like. I've grabbed all of those silhouette images that I cut with my dies, and I have just arranged them on my card base. None of them are adhered down. They're just placed there so that I know exactly where I want them to go, so I can stamp my sentiment. This is from the Baby Dino stamp set, and it's the only little bit of stamping other than that natural granite that's going into this card. The most of this is from that simple little die cut trick. I'm going to use some black foam squares. You can use white, but I had the black and I thought I might as well use them because there isn't really a better place to use them other than on these fully black die cut pieces, and it just helps to hide the foam tape. I glued the palm tree down flat, and I'm going to pop up all of the other little dinos to give me some dimension. I'm just going to add them to my card very quickly, very simply. And then to add a touch of something special, I'm going to come in with my shimmer pen. This is just a clear shimmer, and I'm going to add it onto all of my silhouette die cuts. So all of the dinosaurs as well as that palm tree. And this is just going to give me something a little bit extra to add to such a simple card. And that's it. I hope that you love this easy technique of creating silhouette images using just your dies. There's no coloring, just a bit of ink blending and a tiny bit of stamping. Thanks so much for watching this video. I have listed and linked all of the LDRS creative products that I used in this tutorial in the video description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!